In the sprawling heart of the Tanzanian wilderness, within the renowned Serengeti National Park, resided a venerable figure named Robert. Gentle, evocative music plays. Robert was no ordinary man. He was a retired game warden whose life story was interwoven with the very fabric of the Serengeti for over half a century, from the vibrant days of his youth to the serene twilight of his years. During his remarkable tenure, Robert dedicated himself with unwavering passion to the sacred duty of safeguarding the park's magnificent wildlife from the insidious threat of poaching. The people of the Serengeti held him in profound esteem, regarding him as a living legend, an embodiment of resilience and profound compassion. Even in his retirement, the pull of the wild remained strong, and he could be seen daily, his trusty old Land Rover traversing the vast plains on voluntary patrol. The younger generation of park staff frequently sought his counsel, drawn to his deep-seated wisdom and encyclopedic knowledge of the ecosystem. The majestic elephants, the regal lions, the graceful giraffes, the striped zebras, and the formidable rhinos. All were recipients of his care and affection. He held a particular fondness for the elder animals, those residing in the tranquil haven area, where they could find respite and peace. Despite the gradual decline in his physical health, Robert's spirit remained indomitable, the weight of years never dimming his resolve. The Serengeti's climate had grown increasingly harsh in recent times, with scorching temperatures predicted to soar as high as 113 degrees Fahrenheit 45 degrees Celsius. That particular morning dawned with an intense, unwavering sun that cast its fiery gaze across the expansive reserve. The oppressive heat compelled many creatures to seek refuge in the cool embrace of the acacia trees, their broad canopies offering a welcome sanctuary. However, Robert's mind was fixed on a singular purpose: to check on the well-being of a rhino that had sustained injuries the previous day. He set off in his aging vehicle towards the dense, bushy terrain where the injured rhino was recuperating. The Land Rover rumbled slowly along the uneven track that bisected the parched grassland. The stifling heat seeped into the cabin, clinging to him like a damp cloth, causing a steady stream of perspiration to trickle down his weathered face. Upon reaching his destination, Robert brought the vehicle to a gentle halt. He alighted, his keen eyes scanning the surroundings, attempting to observe the rhino from a respectful distance. The magnificent creature still appeared frail, a significant wound marring its thick hide, stubbornly refusing to heal. With slow, deliberate steps, Robert approached the injured animal, his gaze filled with a mixture of concern and deep affection for this immense yet vulnerable being. Suddenly, a sharp, agonizing pain pierced his chest. The discomfort intensified rapidly, spreading like wildfire, causing a wave of dizziness to wash over him, rendering him momentarily paralyzed. He crumpled to his knees in the dry grass, beads of sweat glistening on his pale forehead. Nearby, two of his younger colleagues, Ethan and Samuel, were diligently monitoring a herd of zebras when a faint, distressed call reached their ears. They instinctively turned towards the sound, their hearts pounding with apprehension. They rushed towards the origin of the cry and were met with the distressing sight of Robert collapsed on the ground. Ethan knelt beside him, his fingers gently searching for a pulse. The rhythm he found was faint and erratic, a stark indication of a serious cardiac event. Frantically, Samuel began searching Robert's pockets for his heart medication, but his efforts proved futile. In his haste that morning, the old warden had likely forgotten to bring his vital pills. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Ethan immediately grabbed his radio and contacted the park's central dispatch, his voice urgent as he requested an ambulance with utmost priority. Word of Robert's collapse spread like wildfire, bringing all nearby operations to a standstill. Every available person converged, their collective concern palpable. The specialized medical vehicle sped across the reserve, its siren wailing a mournful cry as it carried Robert towards the park's medical facility. During the frantic journey, Ethan repeatedly called Robert's name, his voice laced with desperation, urging the old man to hold on, to fight. But Robert's aged eyelids fluttered closed, his breathing becoming shallow and intermittent. Upon their arrival at the medical room, a team of doctors and nurses sprang into action, initiating emergency procedures with practiced efficiency. They administered CPR, their movements precise and urgent, and deployed a defibrillator in a desperate attempt to restart his failing heart. A palpable tension filled the small room, the silence punctuated only by the rhythmic beeping of medical equipment and the hushed commands of the medical personnel. After what seemed like an eternity, stretching beyond 15 agonizing minutes, the lead doctor stepped back, his expression somber. He delivered the devastating news: Robert's heart had ceased beating a long time ago. An eerie silence descended upon the room, a heavy blanket of shock and disbelief. The confirmation of his passing echoed through the small space, marking the end of a truly remarkable life. Soon, the news rippled outwards, reaching the numerous park staff who had gathered anxiously, their faces etched with bewilderment and sorrow. They knew that the Serengeti had lost more than just a former warden. It had lost a guiding spirit, a pillar of strength and wisdom. The heartbreaking news was relayed to Robert's family, each member overcome with profound grief. In accordance with Robert's long-held wishes, the funeral was to be held within the very heart of the reserve he had so dearly loved. The community came together, discussing and meticulously preparing a ceremony steeped in the traditions of the local indigenous people. The following morning, as the first rays of dawn painted the horizon in hues of gold and rose, everyone gathered in the central courtyard of the sanctuary. A simple, handcrafted wooden bier rested in the center, bearing Robert's body. His face was serene, as if he were merely in a deep, peaceful slumber. One by one, individuals approached to pay their final respects, their eyes reflecting a deep sense of loss and longing. Ethan stood beside the bier, his hand trembling as he gently touched Robert's, a flood of cherished memories washing over him. Samuel quietly lit a stick of incense, the fragrant smoke curling upwards like a silent prayer. Suddenly, a powerful roar echoed from the sanctuary's main gate, shattering the solemn silence. A wave of panic rippled through the crowd as they turned to see a massive male lion striding purposefully towards them. The magnificent creature moved with a slow, deliberate gait, its eyes radiating an aura of both majesty and profound mystery. Fear gripped the assembly, and a collective instinct to seek shelter swept through the crowd. The lion emitted another deep growl, as if announcing its presence, yet it displayed no signs of aggression. It continued its unwavering approach towards the wooden bier where Robert lay still. An unspoken understanding fell upon the crowd. No one dared to utter a word, their gazes fixed on the imposing feline. The lion circled the bier slowly, deliberately, and then came to a stop at its foot. There it lowered its massive head, holding the posture as if in deep remembrance. The extraordinary scene sent shivers down the spines of those present, a poignant testament to the profound connection Robert had forged with the wild. Ethan's eyes widened in surprise as he noticed a prominent scar on the lion's flank. A memory, long dormant, resurfaced with startling clarity. This was the very same lion that he and Robert had rescued 15 years prior. At that time, the lion's pride had become ensnared in a poacher's trap, their plight desperate. The rangers had been called for assistance, and Robert, along with a younger Ethan, had bravely ventured closer. They had carefully removed the cruel snare and tended to the injured male lion's deep wound. Following the rescue, the lion had been relocated to a secure area within the reserve, where it had gradually recovered and eventually returned to its natural habitat. It dawned on Ethan that this magnificent creature had likely been silently observing its benefactor for all these years. And now, upon hearing of Robert's passing, it had somehow found its way to bid its final farewell. The tale of the lion's unwavering loyalty and profound gratitude resonated deeply within everyone present, a powerful reminder of the intricate web of life and the unexpected bonds that could form between humans and the wild. With cautious steps, Ethan approached the lion, his voice soft as he attempted to reassure the majestic animal. Surprisingly, the lion simply kept its head bowed, its demeanor peaceful and non-threatening. Gradually, the others, emboldened by the lion's gentle presence, also stepped forward, sharing in this sacred and deeply moving moment. The initial fear dissipated, replaced by a shared sense of grief for the loss of their beloved Robert. After the conclusion of the funeral ceremony in the central courtyard, the community gently carried Robert's body to a tranquil grassy field, a place he had often spoken of with affection. The lion followed slowly behind the procession, its mournful roars echoing across the plains, a primal expression of its sorrow. The group halted beneath the shade of a large ancient acacia tree, its branches reaching towards the heavens like comforting arms. They began to dig a quiet grave, their movements reverent as they gently laid Robert to his final rest. The entire sanctuary seemed to hold its breath, bearing witness to this poignant farewell. Ethan and Samuel placed a simple stone at the head of the grave, Robert's name and the years of his dedicated service etched upon its surface, a lasting tribute to his 50 years of unwavering commitment. The local people conducted a traditional prayer ceremony, their voices rising in a heartfelt plea for Robert's soul to find eternal peace. The lion remained steadfast by the graveside, its head bowed for a long time, its gaze never leaving the final resting place of its savior. Then, it let out a final powerful roar that reverberated across the plains, a heartbreaking lament that echoed the profound loss felt by all. After a while, the group quietly dispersed, leaving the solitary lion to its vigil. The sun began its slow descent, painting the vast Serengeti sky in breathtaking hues of fiery orange and deep crimson. The image of the lion standing sentinel by Robert's grave was indelibly etched in the memory of everyone who had witnessed it. The following day, the reserve suspended all non-essential activities, a mark of respect for the fallen legend. Many individuals returned to the graveside, offering their own tributes, burning incense, placing delicate wildflowers, and whispering heartfelt prayers for Robert's eternal peace. On occasion, park staff would observe the lion returning to visit the grave, spending long periods in quiet contemplation. For this magnificent creature, Robert had been the one who had granted it a second chance at life, and now, in its own wild way, it was repaying the profound debt of gratitude. Ethan and Samuel often visited the graveside as well, sharing their memories of Robert and reaffirming their commitment to his lifelong dream of preserving the wild beauty of the Serengeti. The story of Robert, the legendary former game warden, would forever be woven into the rich tapestry of the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania, a testament to his unwavering dedication and the extraordinary, eternal bond of love and gratitude between a man and a lion.